Hello everybody, good morning. A couple minutes early. I'm waiting for my espresso machine to heat up so I can pull a shot. I'm not really too interested in something right off the jump, so let's wait and see what happens. We are trading on the Top Step X platform for today, just to kind of give you a feel of it. You're going to have the tilt down here at the bottom. If it's hard to see, I'm going to see if I can figure out a way to make like a zoomed in portion of this screen so I could pop it on the top here or something. So just give me a second on that and I'll see if I could do it. Add window capture or display capture, tilt I'll call it. It's gonna be this one. Okay, but I want to shrink that down. I want to make it just the tilt top. That's it. Alt click. Yes. Alt click. There we go. Oh, we're doing this. There's got to be a way to enhance this a bit, but this is the tilt meter here. I'm going to keep the gold and the crude off, so it's just going to be the NQ and the ES that you'll see. NQ and ES right there. Bang, bang, boom. Cool. We are about to be open, so let's just be mindful of that. See what happens. We're kind of right in the middle of this range. The high here was the PPI high. Let's see what this looks like on the screen. Give me a second. High quality, you can kind of see it up there. 69, 32, 71. Yeah, so you can see the tilt there. That's good. At least it gives you a little bit of an opportunity to see it. I'm trying my best with that. Just for those of you who have showed interest in the tilt meter. So we are open. We're moving up and down and bouncing around. We have to wait and see what happens. The PPI number came in at about, give me a second so I could pull it up to give you the correct actual number. I know it came in hot. PPI came in at 0.3 as consensus was 0.1 and forecast was 0.1. So it came in a little hotter. Just core is 0.5 over 0.1. And then the next thing we got is the Michigan consumer sentiment at 9. So just watch out for that. 79.5 is forecast, 80 is the consensus. You know, give or take a point or two there. Could whip us around again. So just be careful of that. The high end there is that PPI, the pre-PPI number. Once I get the sorry, my voice is feeling a little interesting today. I gotta clear it out. Let's see what the NQ looks like here. So there is an uptrend here that we are kind of dealing with. You want to be careful, be mindful of this. Kind of right on top of it right now. Also at that liquidity zone there. You know, if you even use this as the trend line, you know, false breakdown. I like it down here. It's just a general zone. Really the most important thing is this big red orange zone right here that I have. That 17,880 in that range there could play as a bounce. We got Microsoft pushing lower to that 406.18 again. Could catch a bounce of 406.18 and then look to rotate higher back up to 18,000. Although PPI came in hot, it's kind of, I mean, I think CPI really gave us that rollover idea. And now we've kind of bid back up on it. Got the same kind of information rolling back down. Could, like I said, could catch a bounce here and then rotate down and then look to see if it'll crack that for real later on. Just watch Microsoft at 406.18. I'm not like looking to be super aggressive today. It's Friday. I am only trading a Top Step X Combine today. So I'm saving my funded account for Monday. Start back over there. Kind of a miserable, rainy Friday out here in Texas. So we're in that zone. Nvidia just cracked that bottom. Microsoft got right to 406.18 and that's where it hit some resistance. So see if it bounces from here. If that happens, then at 17,890, 880 level there, it could be important. If not, then we'll watch for that there. Keep your money on Fridays. Really, that's the biggest takeaway that I could give. Oop. There's a few numbers today. Not a ton of like great. I did like this yesterday. Yeah, so we are trade copying 2 of these 50Ks. Want to see it get down maybe into 880, flush it, get yourself a tilt. I don't have the delta on here. I don't know if I could get it. Is there a way to put it on here? Delta? Nope. Still no delta indicator on here. So I don't have that for here. I could pull it up on the other platform, but I'm trying to stay away from that other platform for now. Limit what I have running on my computer while I'm streaming. You could see Microsoft bounced right off that 406.18 level there. I'm trying to make this so you can see it. As we expected, that's where it's going to get the bounce. Also right off that trend line there in that liquidity zone, that 880 level, right? Just front running it. You could look to see if it'll flush it, you know, give you a little divergence. Like I said, I don't have my delta up here, so I don't really have that information that I want to have. I'm waiting for my espresso machine to get done to heat it up so I can get up in there and get myself a shot, really kickstart the day. A little tired today, a little worn out. I think I'm fighting a little something, but I'm on here every day I can stream. I will be streaming. Wonder if I could do this and cut that off. Probably not. You got that tilt meter up in the top right. Let's see if I can get this maybe a little bit bigger for you so you can see it. Yeah, that's a little bit better with the levels. All right. I'm gonna have to adjust it when I go back to the other screen, but that'll be that day. We did flush Microsoft through that 406.18 level right there. You can see that flush of that yellow line. We bounced off it, flushed it. Now we're continuing downside. Be careful of a break of this trend line here at 880. Could initiate some more selling, but be cautious until 9 because you do have that number release at 9. Doesn't matter what it is, right? There is going to be an algo reaction to the number, so that's what we got. So just be careful of it. Nvidia is pushing highs. Apple pushing highs. Meta pushing lows. Google rolling over a bit. Amazon trying to fight this resistance. Right there. Fighting that, trying to hold below it, but if it pops its head back up, you could get this bounce here as well. Nvidia failing that high. Apple still pushing through the highs. I did think it was going to get down into this liquidity zone here. It got really close yesterday. Didn't quite make it there. You know, that could be just a good level that I don't have drawn up. We're going to look to see if it'll push up a little bit more. It has up into that 88.18 before it's going to really catch any sort of real resistance. You do have this post-market, pre-market session there. Microsoft playing with that 18 level, still looking to push down through it, so we're going to be careful here. I think if Microsoft reclaims 406.18 and holds above it, then this could be a rotation back higher. I did say be careful till 9, so we're not going to just jump into something just to jump into it because we're in a different account. We're still looking to be smart with our executions. You do have a bounce play happening on that NQ from that 17,880 level, right here. It's really, we got down to 886. That trend line really kind of playing into that area. Anywhere probably into this yellow line here. Could get a bounce or a flush. So a push below here, a hold below 80. You could rotate to the downside because it's a confirmation hold below that trend line crack. And then you'll re-accept here, obviously within that zone. And then anything above, you want to kind of get up to the other yellow areas. I have that tilt meter in the top right corner. Let me know if you can see it, if it's hard to see or, you know, whatnot. Just want to try and make it a better viewing experience for you. If you want to watch this over something else, I know Kramer was interested in having that tilt up there so you could see it. Got the nice new Policing Pips hat from Timber and Hide Co. Check him out. He does great work. You don't have to trade on a Friday. You don't have to trade any day. It's really just take your time, look for a setup, find an execution. Microsoft trying to hold the lows, pushing new lows on the day, trying to hold below that 406.18. Like I said, be careful of this area, that 880 to 869, 870. If you could get a hold below here, could act as that flush point. Tesla's bouncing and rallying. Microsoft selling. Nvidia selling. Apple selling from highs. I'll let Microsoft tell me some stories here. I don't think anything for me is going to really set up until 9 o'clock. I want to let that algo bounce us around a bit and then be able to take our trade. So I'm going to keep the screen up here. Give me a second. I need to go make an espresso shot because that's what Daddy needs. Daddy needs some caffeine in his life. So we'll leave you with the Day Trading Coffee Company mug. And he's going to hang out. I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes. Be careful of that 9 o'clock number. Watch that bounce play. And watch Microsoft at 406.18. Just pause time. espresso went in. All right, there's that flush, I guess, or we're sitting right on that resistance, looking to see if we get a bounce from it. Sorry, I took a little espresso break there. All right. Like I said, today and even Monday is a holiday, so today and Monday are gonna be, nothing crazy. So I probably won't be trading that funded account until Tuesday. President's Day is Monday. Let's watch this area here. It's a pretty important little bounce from yesterday, right? It acted as support for a while, then it acted as resistance here, then it kind of bounced. It's really a zone here. It's at 880 down to that 70 level. If you start to get a flush of it, it's that trend line that's breaking down. Microsoft is holding the lows. You can see right here the hold below that 406.18, the crack of this trend line. We're in this liquidity zone. That's why I got to be careful. You are seeing tilt short 55%, so just be it's kind of congruent. It should be fine. Let's see what Nvidia and Apple kind of also acting the same way. So I like to see Microsoft be a little bit of the grind down, helping us out. You did get the crack of that trend line. Now I'm gonna maybe wait to see, do we pop up to 80? Do we get a little bit of one of those lower high, lower low actions there? We're flat on the day. We haven't taken any trades. I'm trying to show you top step X. That's what this is here. The PPI came in hot, so that's what we got as far as information, with PPI coming in a little bit hotter than anticipated. Obviously, it seems like everything is. So let's watch this level here. Could be that breakdown point, but also be mindful of a bounce. I don't have my cumulative delta, so I'm kind of flying a little bit naked here on just top step X alone. Like I said, I don't want to really throw stuff out there. I got to set up this screen a little bit better, but for the future, when I do have any sort of just top step X days, or if I have anything else on the screen. But for now, I think this works out. I threw the tilt up here in the top right. So you do have that top right area where the tilt is showing you what's going on. Right now we're about 50-50. Beautiful espresso shop. It's all about the grinder. Really, really good. So Monday, it's early close. I think it's 12 o'clock Central Time for Monday's close. There is that sort of that flush of that zone. Really didn't get any sort of pullback on it, so that flush zone was very, very key right there. So now we're holding down below the short area, right? I'll show you the chart. You got that zone right there, kind of flushed it without even giving any sort of resistance. So we did get slight bounce off of it. Once we broke it, it rotated down. We do have 9 minutes till that number comes out, so just kind of wait. I think you should be patient. I mean, if you caught this short, maybe secure some of the profits. Maybe you go to break even before 9 o'clock, just because, it could continue in your favor if it does come out a number that's going to be, that works for you. But, I wouldn't say dump out and get out right away, but maybe just limit your size, and also just look to see if you can get this thing to play in your favor as well. So, I'd secure profit. Let's say if you have multiple contracts on before 9, right before that, you could start to see that algo whip around. Until then, trail this out. This looks like a really good flush of that area. Has down to that 811, right? That 811 zone. Anywhere from 820 to 800 even. So from that PPI number, if you were on at 730 and you got that short, you haven't really had any reason to get out. This really, maybe unless there was a delta divergence here, could have told you let's get out here. But you still got a pretty good move on that right there. Still just melting off. This was a really good sell from that break of that trend line. If you watch me for any sort of period of time, I'm not a breakdown type trader. These do work, and I'm going to probably add some of those plays to the repertoire, like this one here. But honestly, I'm not. That's not the game I'm playing. I'm looking to fade extreme, so maybe with that overnight high up there, right here, if I was in or if we approached that and then I, maybe got some price action there on open, I could have took the short. Playing a continuation play to me on a Friday possibly could spell disaster for me, but everything seems to be rolling over very, very hard right now. Microsoft selling, Amazon selling, Nvidia selling off pretty hard. It gave you that early spike and then now has just completely rotated down. Sitting on top of the support from yesterday though, so we do have down to the lows, 725 down to 724.01. So we'll watch those with Nvidia, and as always with Microsoft, I think if it catches any sort of bounce, that 406.18 level is important. But to the downside, you do have that liquidity zone all the way down here that we were playing at 394 level, but we haven't been down there for some time. It's been hanging around that 406.18 level for some time. So if we do crack it now and finally give that flush, maybe that rotation to 400 happens. If that number comes in at 9 o'clock, that continues the push to the downside. Really nice espresso shot. We got a new Bello, Deletta Bello espresso machine. Really, really, really nice. Got it for my wife's birthday. It's also a coffee company expense. Advertisement piece. It's really, really a cool looking machine. We're just continuing to rotate to the downside. Really just, this is a 1 minute, right? You could literally trail candle by candle and never have been stopped out. So that tells you how strong that push to the downside is currently. Was mentioning that 880, if you watch and if it holds below 880 and cracks this 70, you could get that flush to 800. Now we're just down through 800 without any problem. So hopefully somebody caught a short up on the top there. That thing is rolling over. I was being very, very cautious going into that 9 o'clock number, but patience did not play out there. That's the bottom end of yesterday. So I'm going to flush yesterday's low without a problem. This is hunting to the downside completely. And the tilt isn't even that heavy, right? It's only 60% short. So people are just not looking to hammer into it. Now 69%. Nvidia breaking. This could be a bloody Friday. We're going to look to see if we can get any entries as we roll through the day. I am, like I said, nothing but trying. I'm not trying to give back anything that we did on the week. Let things kind of settle down a bit, give you an idea on direction, maybe create a low, create a zone that it wants to play in. But if it's just going to continue to melt off, it is what it is. We do have all the way down into the bottom end at 738 for that last resistance level, and then you might run into the liquidity zone below between 680, that 680 zone that we had, and who knows? I mean, that trend line break really played out very, very nicely, right? This thing here, I drew up that trend line this morning when I just first got on here. You got bounce, 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 break, and then once you broke that and that liquidity zone, and you got the help from Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, everybody kind of playing along, boom, straight to the downside, liquidity pull. Now it's just going to be selling, creating selling, right? That's kind of what it looks like. I don't like that. Settings. Title? No. Title. Nope, that wasn't it, but oh well. I hate this little NQH24 thing there. That's not necessary. But I can't get rid of it right now. So, like I said, 3 minutes till that number comes out. Let's see what kind of information comes from it. If it's going to be an algo whip to the downside, see if the tilt 74% short, 74% long here, which is very, very interesting. People are trying to get long on the bottom, trying to pick a bottom. So that to me kind of tells me that we're going to push a bit lower. I don't know why people would be thinking, hey, let's hammer it along right before an hourly close and a number that possibly comes in hot. So those people are going to get probably run over. see down here. That was yesterday's low. Then the previous session low is important as well. I like this just by eyeballing it real quick. That, and then right here, kind of just giving you some ideas on areas that are pretty important level to level, where price will probably want to be drawn to. I don't know if there's a volume profile at all in this, but we've just completely sold off since that PPI number, right? PPI basically confirming what the CPI is telling us, and we're going to be pretty heavy if that's the case for the remainder of the day. If you're over at all in YouTube, hit that link, go over to TradeCaster, sign up for a 7-day free trial. Deckmar is giving away a huge package for everybody who signs up by Sunday. You get TradeCaster free for a month plus 30% discount. You get TradeZilla, you get trade ideas, you get Lightspeed, and you get Fox Runner. Hundreds of dollars in value for free that he's giving away just until Sunday. It's a really, really good value. You come over, sign up, 7-day free trial. Head over to my stream. You could go over to Deck's stream. You could go over any of the streamers that we got. I think we got 25 rocking and rolling on a pretty daily basis. So head over there, click that link, and go that way. And we're gonna watch this number release come in 30 seconds and see what the algos do with this. See which way it whips around. And then let it settle. Give ourselves a little bit of a better idea of, are we going to continue down, or is this bounce going to actually play out from this zone? These two ones that I just drew up below, 2 sessions ago, previous low, 700 area, that zone, and then that 730 was another bounce point that day. So I like to fade extremes. I like to see if it gets heavy, tilty, short, then maybe I'll look to flip that long. But people, if this tilt is 70% long at the bottom, there's a little flip. 79.6 consensus was 80, previous was 79, so this could be an algo whip to the downside and then rotate us up higher. So maybe if we get back above that 85 area, we're gonna look to go long a bit. But this is like, it's so odd that the way this sentiment works. So consumer sentiment comes in at a miss, 5-year inflation expectations 2.9% comes in line, 78.4 on the consumer expectations, and 3% inflation as opposed to 2.8. So I may look to go long above 87 here. Just want to see a stop by one contract there. My reasoning there was the algo whip to the downside wasn't as heavy as I would have anticipated, and if we do rotate back above 780, I think we could kind of push up a little bit more. But really, that's just me playing the antithesis of the algo. It could still continue and push down harder. Tilt's starting to flip to that 53%. People are starting to try and get short to maybe catch up to the algos. So like I said, I think I want to play the opposite of what the thought would actually be. Nvidia is continuing to push downside, but I think that's going to be a false push. Microsoft caught a little bit of a bounce, started to roll. Apple's giving it a little bit of a bounce as well. Nvidia is still pushing down. Like I said, I think we have to right about where we're at for a bounce. 724. That 724 level is that low from yesterday, so I think you do get a little bit of a bounce. It's heavier short here. I'm gonna give it one shot down here if it does want to flip on us and give us a little bit of a pop. There we go. We're long here. I'm gonna go risk to the bottom, and then we'll try and rotate ourselves back to the high side. See if we get this thing to pop. Just a quick pop. I'll move to break even. We only got one contract on. We're not looking to go crazy with it. We're just taking one shot at a bounce based on the algo's lack of follow through to the downside. See if we could catch a little bit of it. If it's going to fail and roll over, so be it. We just kind of wanted to take one go at it. I'm not going to really revenge in or anything like that. I think this is a super heavy market. Things could continue to push to the downside without any question. Some reason it still thinks that I'm negative on my position, but I'm not. I'm in the money. So I'm going to move to break even, $5. So this is a free trade. If we do get the bounce that we're looking for, let's see what we can get out of this. See if we can maximize a little bit of the gain. I want to see it up to that 780. 780 would be real nice, but I don't know if it's going to hold this level and without failing right now. 71% long tilt. I'm going to move it up a little bit more just to get myself $30 on that, just because I don't trust it to continue on up to the upside with that tilt getting heavier. NVIDIA is giving us a little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a reprieve that's helping us at that area. I said NVIDIA at that area should bounce, and if it does, then it should continue on. Apple is, though, rolling over some more, and Microsoft's giving us a little bit of help as well. So might look to secure a little bit more. Up 240 on the position right here. Yeah, I'm going to go to the base of there. So we secured 175, and now we're going to see how much we can get out of this. See if it'll run up. In a heavier market, I'm looking to try and secure some of the position as it moves my way, because we're fighting the trend here a bit. I called this out. I really anticipated this is going to be the kind of move that we were going to see here. I think we'll probably get stopped out, but if not, then we're going to continue to rally up to that 80 level. Order filled. Okay, so we'll flatten all there. We're up 162 on the day so far. Caught a little bit of a bounce. Like I said, we're not really trying to go crazy on a day like today. I wanted to see what this number would give us. 162. We're up. And I'm going to give this guy a little green guy, because we're green on the day. Hell yeah. Another good execution on the bounce. I do expect this to kind of rotate all the way back to here if it's going to continue. If not, it's going to fail the low. And we do have we have to zero. So it can go as far down as it wants. It's super heavy. I didn't really trust this to continue on with the lack of follow through, and the tilt was getting heavy, like 70%, starting to push over 70. So I didn't want to be, playing my strategy, anti-tilt, right? Because if you're going to be getting everybody getting long here, then you probably look to see it possibly get short again and continue back down to the downside, especially with Apple, the way it was breaking lows. And Microsoft popped, but it didn't give that great follow through. And NVIDIA flushed lows and now is rotating back up. So that could be that one thing that keeps us up, because Apple is looking to crack the lows once again. And if Apple cracks the lows again, probably gets some of these other names to continue to push down, because NVIDIA is not as strong as it has been over the last week or so or month. So any selling that's been coming in has also poured into NVIDIA. So we're pretty happy with what we secured there on that move. I only got one contract on. I know you see two over here as entry, but when I clicked it on here, I clicked for one. There's some nuanced differences between Top Step X, Quant Tower, anything that you're trading in. Every platform is going to be a little bit different. There's a slight change in everything. So just be mindful of what you're trading, what kind of platform you're on. If you're adjusting to a different platform and you're used to doing certain things quickly, maybe size down. Go into, even if you have to go to micros, go into that, test it out, see what's going on. But for a Friday, we're up on our first trade. We caught a little bit of a bounce there. We were up about 240, and we took half of it on the pullback. So, you could see this thing possibly continue to rotate on up if we do hold. My initial idea was if it broke above the 80, that we could take it up and start to recover some of this move. Boy, I love espressos. A little espresso gets the juices flowing, gets us in the green for the day to start. Still on this account, this Top Step X account, we're up just over 1,500 on the account. The target for these combines is $3,000, and you can't make more than 50% of the account in one day. So we're, with this 162, we were just shy of 1,500. So if we decide to hit a banger today, we would probably need to trade one more day and make a little more profit. So let's just kind of, especially if we do catch into a runner or something like that, I'm going to secure profits probably just shy of any sort of maximum game that we can get, just because, you know, I know I'm trying to show you guys how to maximize it, but if I'm already up into that profit area after I've already built some sort of buffer, I'm not looking to extend the days to get funded again. I did that on the other account, and that kind of just messes up the whole setup. Once you're funded in these accounts, go to town, maximize your gains, do what you got to do. So we're up on the day. We got one winner. Trade count is 1. Still kind of pushing up a little bit. NVIDIA is a powerhouse of the sell. That's the mitochondria. Just kidding. The dry humor coming into play today. I just had a double shot, so we should be good energy-wise. Like I said, Fridays, we got 80% longs here in that tilt. If it gets up into that 80% long, I'm almost guaranteeing that it turns on itself a little bit. But that's only if NVIDIA rolls. I'll take a short if it gets up into that 780 and it's up still at 80% tilt. Purely based on, you know what? Stop sell 1. I just want to do this purely based on that 80% tilt. We're short here. I don't like when it's super heavy tilty long. I think we could definitely get a little bit more of a rollover now that we've tilted up higher. I'm going to trail it tight as it moves in my direction, if it moves in my direction. Very interesting the way that the DOM is looking. 77% long tilt and 76% long tilt on S&Ps. The NVIDIA move is pushing up, but right up to the high where it is. Microsoft is kind of trying to push up, but not very strong. And then Apple's trying to roll over some. So I think maybe we get one more little pop here, and then I'll rotate to the downside. I'm trying it. I'm shooting my shot at it. I don't think it's kind of frozen on me a little bit. I don't like. So the platform is definitely a little bit different. It's not something I really execute on as good as I do on Quant Tower, but I do think as far as the tilt is concerned, we're just purely basing this on a tilt strategy here. I want to see this roll over with a heavy long bias going on right now. It's heavy long with retail and combine players market. I don't know what's going on. It's like canceling orders. I don't know. It just flattened me out. So apparently I'm out of this trade. So there's that. I don't know what just happened. Flat and all. I didn't lose anything. Or I'm still in. Nope, I'm in on one of the accounts. That's interesting. So really very odd what's going on. I can't trade this. I can't manually trade this. But that heavy tilt seems like it's playing out with our resistance there. So let's see if this account will play out. The other account seemed to have just completely stopped trading. I don't know what that was. It was definitely some sort of glitchy, buggy action there. I don't know what that was. So honestly, I may not execute anymore after this trade unless I see something that's really worth executing. I'm doing this purely based on tilt, just to show you guys if there is a heavy tilt to one direction or the other, how price likes to kind of fade that and go the other way. It's not a guarantee every single time that it plays out, because nothing is a guarantee in this trading world. But if it does play out, it'll be a very nice move. I don't know what happened with that leader account, but it decided that it didn't want to play anymore, so it turned off. So I'm going to just manage this position over here. I'm going to let it kind of dump a little bit. I would like to see it rotate to the lows. I can't do anything on here. I can't even flatten. I don't know what the hell is going on. Well, the move is playing. I don't know how to get out of this, so maybe I'll turn off the trade copier. Clear.
Order filled.
Oh, okay. So then that just turns me off. So yep, there's nuances to this Top Step X platform. We're learning it together. The move is happening. There it is. Sorry that I got out of it. I'm up 224 though, so there's that. I wouldn't call the other one down. It is down. It's down 95, but not because of anything that I did. We got out of that. I'm gonna call us up 224 on the day here. We're up 224 on this Top Step X account, and we do not have any clue as to why that that other account decided to just turn itself off. I'm gonna have to send that over. I hope it's something that they're addressing. But this is why you come in here and you're a little bit cautious. You go if you're switching platforms, you're trying different things, you're making things work. I think it's going to be really, really a great platform, and that tilt definitely helped us. Right, we caught a little piece of that move. I was short here. It ran up a bit. We were in drawdown, and then it started to sell off, right, because that tilt got heavy, heavy long. I'm just refreshing this to see what happened. Maybe that you need some sort of quick reboot. I'm having some issues with the. I don't know what the hell that was. That was so weird. All right, so 224. We're up 75% long on the bias. Still think that is heavier tilt. I think, if I had my delta up here, you would probably not be getting that push up right now in the delta. But I'm out anyway. I'm flat. But Nvidia is starting to roll, so we did secure a little bit on that. It's up 224 on the account here. I don't know if I trust the trade copier on here right now. It worked out fine in the last couple days, but today, not quite. So let's see. 65 is a leader. Yep. And then this one's the follow account. Okay. Just try to bug it out. That's why we do this on Fridays or just any day that we're doing it. Our funded account, we're not going to trade until probably Tuesday, since Monday is a holiday. Shortened trading hours. I might hop on just to say what's up. Probably won't execute unless I'm on Top Step X here. Tilt is still 77% long. It's still probably a good opportunity to short. We got bugged out on our other account, so for some reason we weren't able to catch the move that we wanted to catch. It turned us off, and then once I turned the trade copier off, it decided to flatten the position, which worked out, I guess, here, because I took profit and pretty much got out while it was doing some stuff that wasn't really ideal for me. So anytime you get into something that becomes wonky for you or something that you would normally not be doing, your best case scenario is to just bang out of it. I wouldn't do any trades. I wouldn't try and make a trade that you didn't do on purpose or something is happening that's wrong. I wouldn't execute that and then hold it and say, oh, just in case it might work out, because those don't work out. And if they do one time, then they'll get you into bad habits, and then eventually you'll develop really bad habits, and you'll be very upset because you'll start to hammer on those, and those are when you'll take your bigger losers. So Nvidia, you're getting a little bit heavier on the tilt again. I'll do this one more time just to see if that tilt thing does play out, and see if this let's see if this copier works. 84% long, pretty heavy longs. Very interesting there for price to continue to push up. Very rare. 69% long, 84% long. Average long price is 766. So right where I'm at. So if that ends up failing, then that should give us a rotation to the downside. You know what it was? I think I set a take profit on top of this, and it was very mad at that. So I think I'm just going to set my stop loss if I get triggered, and then I'm going to just trail that. We are up 224 on the day. This says negative 95. This account got very upset at whatever the trade copier was doing, and then once I tried to fix the other account, was still rolling, was up 224, right? So that's where our actual trade execution played out. We didn't get stopped. Everything was nice. We were good. So we'll see. 85%. I'm going to go short from here. And it's frozen. I think we should probably wait and see what's going on here. I don't know if I'm in or out. I don't know what's going on. Price is just frozen on me. So Top Step X getting a little buggy. 82.50. Oh, it's gapped up here there. 85% long. You can see how buggy it's kind of getting. I'm not really a fan of that. I haven't had that problem at all in Quant Tower. The dedicated platforms are way smoother than like the web-based stuff. You do get a little bit of funkiness with the web-based stuff. Maybe also with Top Step X gaining more and more users now, possibly could be the reasoning behind it. Getting a little bit choppy. I do think any sort of failure of this level with this tilt being 85% long could indicate that short to come in, but I do want to watch NVIDIA and Microsoft because they are pushing up, and those names are going to hold this market up, absolutely. Apple trying to rotate from here, and I just want to see it fail so hard that we don't even get a chance to look back at it with an 85% long here. I do have this sell stop here below 780 because if it does fail 780, I think we can continue down to the downside, at least maybe into that 730 range. It's just an idea for now. We're up 224 on the day. I know that this one says 95. We'll go here and just show you the actual P&L. We're working out some glitchiness. This is a good thing that we're doing this today. We're trading smaller size. We're kind of just flying blind without delta, which is nice too, because it's kind of just going off this tilt, showing that any sort of heavy bias to a direction usually tends to lead to some sort of correction in this. However, when you're brought up by NVIDIA and Microsoft and Apple, they are getting bid up some, so that could hold this up a touch. But I like it just as a quick pullback. Microsoft pushing up right into that resistance area that it sold off from hard before, and let's see if we get triggered in here. We are involved. I'm gonna set a stop above the high here. Whoops, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do it on this one because it's the leader. That's the stop. So let's see if this actually works. It was not working good before the trade copier got very buggy. It just turned off my position completely. I had no idea what was going on with it. It just decided that it was going to just stop out or flatten, but then the other position was open. So we're definitely working out some of the bugs here with the Top Step X platform. We took this short based on the tilt being heavy long at 85%. We were getting into an area of interest where we shorted, wanted to short before. So we're going to take the shot at it, see if we can rotate this down, up, break through this little support line here. We could break through here, and then we should get a continuation to the downside. There we go. Pushing now a little bit. Up 140 on it, up 190, up 220. We're going to go to break even now. We're at break even. So let's see how much we can get out of this. Like I said, I'm going to trail it pretty quick and tight. Try and secure some of this profit. This is really going to get our actual P&L up pretty good. Up 300 on this short here. Very, very nice. Very, very, very nice. See if we can get this to rotate down now through here. If it doesn't, we're going to be stopped out for 190, but it looks like it still wants to go. I could manage this a bit better, but I don't trust the platform. Up again, once again, I'm going to flatten all. We're flat now. Didn't get the continuation. Probably will now. This will be the flush. I just want to show our true P&L is 421 on the day. Very nice. We'll take that. We're flying a little bit blind on it, but we're up 421 on the day. With the Top Step X account, I believe that's including fees. Your realized P&L, this actual profit or loss from position you've closed for the trading day, looks like that's including fees. Net equity plus. So yeah, we're getting that now pushed to the downside. The reason I managed that the way I did, where I trailed my profit into the green there, is just based off of my lack of trust in this platform at the moment. You need to trust what you're trading on for your strategies to work out. This definitely worked. So what my thought process here was, tilt was getting super heavy long, 85% long from that level, right? I'm gonna refresh. Sometimes you gotta kind of delete the cookies. Tilt doesn't always refresh perfectly because now it's back down to that 54%. So I need to get a way to get this thing to refresh. There's a lot of little nuances that aren't working perfectly for me right now. I'm glad that we're able to be in the green, up 421 on the day. Very happy with that. I want to be able to trust my platform. And really, like I said, the reason I secured what I did was because of the lack of trust. But also at the same time, I mean, really, once you get down below this wick here, you got to kind of get tight, because if it's going to rebound, it's going to rebound exactly like it did right here. Could still be a good continuation on the short. However, the tilt is no longer super heavy long, right? It's back to 60%. I'm just showing you the pure tilt strategy, right? I eliminated my delta because it's not on this platform. You can see right here, we got above a key level. We got really heavy tilty long. It was 85%. So I set my stop below here. Once you get that, I took zero heat on it. My stop was right above here. And as it started to creep down, I went to break even. And then I just started to continue to push it down. Obviously, I got stopped out right where we're at basically right now. So, you know, overall, I can't be mad at a $421 day on a Friday where I've been looking to be very cautious on the moves, right? I'm here to fade levels, fade extremes, look for divergences in price and information, right? So that's where I take my moves. This would have been a fantastic, obviously, home run trade right here, right? Except I wasn't trading leading into that number. I didn't really trust the move to continue, and I also wasn't playing a continuation breakdown. That's just not like my strategy. Really I look for a push down here, a return, and then maybe a fade back up to highs. Or if we were at the highs, look to rotate down. I just, when I start chasing stuff like this, I get myself in some trouble. So I got to start, maybe trusting some of these breakdowns, because lately they seem to be working. These trend line breaks seem to be working. The tilt meter, obviously, that played out twice. Right here, it was up at 75, almost 80% here. Took that short, took a little bit off there. Our platform got funky. It froze on us. It decided to get to a point where it turned off one of the accounts and the other account stayed live. So it was good because that other account didn't lose the money that the other account lost. So overall, we're in the green in both accounts, up 421 with our true actual plays, right? Once this started to play out here, we would have secured pretty much exactly what we secured on it. And then we did it again right here, faded that heavy tilt. We had some help from the Microsoft animal here, right here, that pushed highs and started rotating down, which also helped our delta push to the bottom. So that was very nice as well. So overall, pretty good. Very happy with the trade. Very happy with executing off that tilt. Now I just need to trust that the platform will do what I expect it to do. It's just, that's all you can do, right? You got to limit your downside. So if your stop's out there, if it decides to just flatten you out for no reason, then it just does it, and it is what it is, and you kind of just go from there. I just don't know what else to say about how that kind of worked out. I would be very cautious if this is your only account. With trade copying, I would make sure that you're very aware of what's going on with all of your accounts. If you are trade copying, let's say, not just in Top Step X or in Quant Tower, if you're trading with another platform, or if you're trading on another prop firm, Apex or something like that, where you're using their trade copiers, make sure you watch on that platform what the leader is doing and what the fills are and all the other ones, right? Because I don't like that not working out, and then you think you're filled and you're managing one position and the other ones are totally off and maybe losing money on them. So just make sure you watch your fills. This is our P&L for the day so far here. Took a nice $200 winner, and then an $80 winner, $150, $190. It seems too. Okay, these are these three. 150, 80, and 200. That's our profits there. These are the profits from the account across the last few days. Let's see if this account shows any different. So we took that 255 loss on that bug out, and we're still green. These are the trades we've taken on this account since we've had it open. Some nice little moves: 690, 585, 245, 190. This 255. Glitches are going to happen, right? You're just going to have to kind of deal with them, work with them, make sure that everything plays out in your favor. But just be mindful of them. I don't want you to get involved in a trade and then think that one thing's happening and another thing is happening. So the short did play out nicely there. You got that not delta divergence, because I don't know what delta is doing. I would likely say that you probably got a delta divergence. Price pushed higher above this zone, tried to stop these people out. We're in a downtrend, so the shorts probably will continue to pile in. You got the short time frame support going on. You had tilt super heavy long, 85% once it topped above that 780 level. We had our stop right below here, 778 or 777-ish, right in that range. And then we shorted that. We trailed our stop kind of quick, based purely off of how this platform kind of screwed us over on this trade here on one of the accounts. It's weird because it was a leader account, so the leader account shouldn't have bugged out, but it did. We took a good profit on that one on one account, and the other one we took a loss because it just decided to shut the trade, but which is fine because then we made it back here on this move. We trailed it tight, took off about 190, I think I said, 200 on that one. We took off $200 on that trade there, so brought our whole total for the day to 421.48 after fees. So 421 is our little P&L on the day for a Friday. After the week that we've been having, we refunded that 100K account, so we're happy with that. Not going to trade that probably until Tuesday now. I didn't want to trade today on a Friday with it. I don't like to just jump into the funded account. I also think it's probably not even set up yet. It'll probably be set up by Monday. Monday is a holiday, President's Day, so we are going to get a holiday shortened day till noon. So I'll be on. I probably won't be trading unless I'm on this Top Step X platform that I'm showing you right now, just to kind of see what kind of trading action we get. If we do get an opportunity, we'll execute on it, but we're not going to look for anything too big. We're not going to look to stay on all day and execute. So Monday, holiday, President's Day, my best piece of advice is just don't trade. But if you don't trade and you still want to get chart time, it is really good to kind of see how some of those holiday shortened days work out. If there's any sort of price action that you understand, like with the lower liquidity and stuff like that, it's really good to kind of watch it and make sure you understand why you don't trade those days or why you do trade those days. Just have a reason to be watching and not executing. That's really what my advice is. Especially if you're newer, go in and have the wherewithal to not click buttons. The days that you could say, okay, I am definitely not trading today, and you go in and you watch charts and you don't trade, I feel like that is a bigger win than if you kind of just got into something that you normally, maybe wouldn't have executed, or the low liquidity kind of helped you but may have hurt you and you accidentally made some money, but it was a pretty bad execution. Or going in and losing a bunch of money because you're executing on a day that you shouldn't. So I would recommend watch it, set the rule out for that day. I'm not going to execute a trade, but I want to see what price does, what kind of action we get on these low liquidity days, and just understand why you're doing it. And if you could establish that discipline on that day, then other days you can come in and be like, all right, well, I don't have to trade today because tomorrow there's another day, there's more opportunities. And the days that you don't lose money, you're retaining your capital, you're giving yourself another chance tomorrow to maximize your actual setups and your actual strategy. So I think that's the best piece of advice I could give for like a holiday shortened day or a holiday totally like a time around Christmas or stuff like that where you don't think your executions are necessarily going to be the best. So I'm just watching right now, up 420 on a Friday. I have the habit of going heavy red on Fridays or
chopping up and going from green to red, so I'm not really in a rush to execute. I just understand what you do on certain days, and that kind of helps move you along. Develop good habits while you're in a combine or while you're trading small. Develop those good habits, and then while you have those habits, and that's going to kind of translate into when you're actually trading live, when you're actually trading funded, when you're actually trading bigger size, you can have rules in place that you stick to, and those rules will make you stick to new rules and kind of develop that consistency, the discipline that you need to stay in this game long term. You gotta love it. You gotta enjoy what you're doing, because otherwise you're gonna just rip your head out. And also be adaptable. Love what you do and be adaptable, and you'll be just fine. It's gonna take some time to be profitable. It's gonna take some time to learn how to pass these accounts. Like I said, I passed the 100K yesterday after burning the 100K in January, so we're back. Everything is all good. I know people have burned accounts recently, still have funded accounts, or they're looking to get new ones. It's not the end of the road if you burn it. You do know you're profitable. You do know you have a good strategy. You just got to stick to that discipline 100% of the time and avoid those tilty, oversized, lost days, because those are the days that are going to kill you. Those are the days that kill me. Those are the days that kill everybody, right? I would like to have had recorded that. I did not, so we're going to look to see if we can get something different here. 730 number that came out really started the ignition to this selling that came in, right? The 730 number was over here, right? PPI came in hot, gave that confirmation from that CPI number also being hot, and told us, hey, we're not getting rate cuts anytime soon. Let's dump this off. Algo said they're going to join the party. Started the sell-off. Once we got to 830 for the open, we pushed up a touch and immediately sold off and rolled over. So there's some things on this Top Step X platform I would like to be able to get maybe an opening range indicator. Let's see if they have that, just so I can see it. Nope, they don't have an opening range indicator. Not a huge indicator person. I could draw that up, right? If we go to 830, I could just draw the top and the bottom end of it. 830 right here. Very tight opening range candle, right? But we've left it at the high since. We're going to go horizontal line 830. 830 is here. And then we're going to go 830. Where do I go here? That's your opening range. Opening range high has been the high of the day. We cracked the low of it. If you set the stop basically to the high of the day, it's from 30 to 12. So that's just about 15 points, a little bit more than 15, 17 points. So you could risk, 10 points. You get that good flush there. You really honestly didn't even need to. You would be able to hold. And then once you break the low again, it's been off to the races, right? You broke the low of the day. Once you broke the low of the day, there's been no heat taken to the short side. Now we're kind of just chopping around on this bottom end of this range. It is a Friday. It's a Friday before the holiday shortened Monday. So really there's going to be either profit taking at some point during the day. I think it should probably come in. I have no real... ideas at the moment. Could just chop around right here for now. This is I played this breakdown, but I didn't play the breakdown. That's where I used I used it for my stop. I played the heavy tilt through the zone into a liquidity area for myself. Tilt was 85%, kind of just like how it is now. Probably we'll get another short idea coming in soon if that tilt stays that heavy. I don't want that popping up. I want Microsoft coming to the back end, high end of that range. Nvidia also pushing up but not quite making highs. Apple riding to the high side. Apple flushed that 182 level, and then since it hit 182, it's been bid up and trying to crack up higher. I don't necessarily trust this tilt at the moment. It could continue on just a bit, just based on the way these Nvidias are, because both S&Ps and Nasdaq are both heavier long, so they're in the money. 80% of these longs are in the money at an average price of 772. So 772 is here. So they're long and they're in the money. The shorts are 791, heavier short from where we're at right now. I mean, not heavier. They're not out of the money. So the 19% of shorts who are short from right where we're at now, and the heavy tilt long is long from 772. So they're in the money. So as this contract kind of pushes up higher, that doesn't tell you that they're looking to panic out yet, right? They're in the money. They're still making money. 775. It's kind of creeping up. 777. So they're averaging into this, it seems, but it's 88% long, which is a very, very heavy long tilt. There's that many people in Top Step thinking that this thing is going to rotate to the other end, which is very, very interesting to me. Watch that 811 level. If you get into that 90% tilt up at that 811, possibly look to see it rotate again to the downside. Nvidia is right at that high of that channel. Microsoft pumping. Apple also pumping, but at a breakdown point. Tesla bounced. Nvidia bounced. We're at 89% long at a key level. Watch it. Be mindful of it. Be careful of it. I don't trust that it's going to continue at that heavy tilt. You might not get a huge pullback, but you will get some sort of pullback because there's no way it could be 90% long. So there's a little bit of pullback off that level. You're already up 5 points on it. Up 10 points on it. Just about 10 points you got. So per contract, 10 points. That's $200 per contract. So that's the kind of thing you got to look for. If you're looking to get kind of like scalpy moves off of the tilt, it's possible that worked out. 81% long is not as heavy as it was before, so the heaviness is kind of going down, but now it's popped back up. 87% long, and their average long price is $789. So down here is their average long. They're still in the money. Short average price is $816, so they're trying to top ticket. Could possibly, like I said, get that rotation. You could get that to alleviate some of that heavy tilt down to that 90 level where that breakout was. This is just purely based on the tilt, right? This is not based on anything else. Tilt and levels. I'm not executing on it. If I was that confident on it, I would have taken the short, but I'm not that confident on it. I'm just kind of observing, talking out what the tilt is doing and where we're at certain levels. If it's going to do anything. If it's not, we're just going to kind of, like I said, be careful of it. Okay, my funded account is set up. It's fine to go now. I'm not really worried about that, though. I'm not going to trade that till next week sometime. Still going to mess around with these combines. Apple pulling back off these highs. Nvidia at the high pulling back. Microsoft broke out and now it's fading. 83% long, 80% long. Could possibly look to get this rotation now from here and then see how far down you could take it. I think you could get to 90 from this 810 and then see what happens at 90.
just purely based on that tilt. Right, there you go. Another heavy tilt playing out pretty nicely. You're up. If you took the short from that 811 based on the tilt and on the equities starting to roll, you could have secured 10 points there, been at break even if you wanted to be, or left it at the high, and just see what happens at 800. 800 obviously is a very, very important level. I thought 90 we could get to if you break 800. So watch that. Be mindful of it. Microsoft is bouncing. You got your tilt that kind of faded out a little bit. It's now down to 76%. I think we can rotate it if it does get through 800. I don't know anything about Delta right now, so I can't promise anything. Maybe you get stopped out at break even. You're out now. The tilt faded down. Every time it gets above like 80 to 90%, that's a short opportunity. You could catch these moves, quick scalpy moves, just based on that. And now you're rotating up higher with Microsoft and Apple, Nvidia pushing up highs as well. So you could, like I said, manage that as a quick scalp, break even. You get stopped out, or if you left the stop at the high, you're still in. Not a ton of risk on it. Still 80% long, so that the heaviness in the tilt still tells me that the harder trade is the short. So that's potentially where the market wants to go. It wants to take advantage of most of the retail, right? It wants to take advantage and take their orders and get the other direction. So you can see that tilt gets up into that 80 range. It sells off pretty much consistently every single time. So we're getting that sell. I mean, and then if it's on the bottom, it's a buy, right? But we're at the high, looking to rotate down. If you could break 800, you should get to 90 and then beyond. But if not, these equities are holding up, so they may just prop you up a bit. So if you left the stop at the high there, you're still involved. If you want to go to break even now, you probably could, because if it does flush 800, then you should get the crack. And then if not, if 800 doesn't break, then you're going to be stopped out for the high end anyway. So I think if 800 breaks here, which it does, there it goes. There's a good crack. See if it flushes it or if it's just going to be a liquidity grab. Either way, should be a break even if you're taking the short from 811. Microsoft bouncing, Nvidia breaking highs. I would be at break even for sure, especially since the breakdown of 800 didn't really give you a heavy flush. Microsoft looking to push. I need that 800 to fail. It can't hold. If 800 holds, then you don't stay in. But we were at break even if you were in there, so you'd still be in the money. If you had more than one contract off, I would have took off probably one at 800 and then left the other one at break even. Now you would be pretty much guaranteeing yourself some profit. So it's really just kind of up to you. Yeah, I know. How you want to manage it. Based purely off of the tilt is why I took that. And the level at 811 has been very important. I didn't take the trade. I'm not saying that I did or that you should have. But if you did, I'm just telling you how I would manage it. Right, the entry would have been at 811, just shy of 811, maybe 810.50, and I would have my stop would be here at 810.50, looking for the 800 break. And if you get a bounce in any of the equities, you're going to be out because likely it's going to rotate through the highs anyway, and you would be stopped out for a full loss. So you might as well just get that break even loss and move on. 810.50 was my anticipated entry and fill and stop loss, right? So if we do break above it, you'd be out. If it flushes 800, then you maximize your gains by the next flush of 800. You move your stop down there and see where you can go. Microsoft is starting to roll again, so maybe that'll get you to push through 800. This is just how I manage my positions. I don't, you don't have to manage your positions that way. If you're just like set your loss limit and forget it, then that's what you do. That's fine with me. I would probably be stopped out there, probably, or very close to it. Yeah. So it would have been a break-even type trade unless I secured some profits on the way down, which is possible once 800 happened. I might have been front running it a touch, like down to 805. So 5 points, get yourself $100 on one contract. Not a terrible
not double grab for a fade of a move when all the equities are trying to be strong, and you were basing it purely on tilt, right? So now you're breaking highs, stopping out those people who have the stops there. 80%, 87% on tilty. I don't know what the delta is doing because I don't have it up. Microsoft wicked up. Now it's pushing up again. If this fails this breakout, then that could give you that true sell to the downside. If not, if it holds 811, then the rally should be on. Back up to VWAP. Because you got this lower high, higher low here. Higher high, maybe make another higher low on a push down. So either way, if you have a long bias or a short bias, a pullback here could be a good reason to get in. So a fail of that breakout should lead to a harder sell now that we failed that breakout, right? That's the kind of move that we look for. If I had my delta up, you have the tilt super heavy long at 84%. So most people are long, would likely to want to push this to the downside because of the failed breakout. So look for this to fail if it's going to hold. There's the break of 8. So like I mentioned right here, right? Tilt got really heavy long. If I was going to break this down for you, you got a rally off the bottom based on equities pushing up, bouncing off their bottoms. You got some help there. You also came off this liquidity zone at 738, right here, down here. You got a failed break above here. That failed breakout stopped some people out who were trying to get short at 800. And then now the true selling is on, right? You could see this play out. The tilt got heavy long once again. I said if it doesn't hold this level, it's going to sell off this time. We didn't take the short. We're pretty much done trading for the day on a Friday up. But I wanted to call out these moves just so you can see and have an opportunity, right? I said from 811 to 90 is definitely at least that first target. If you flush 90 and you get below 80, then the selling will continue. Be mindful of this lower end of the trend line here because you are going to be in a channel here if you are going to get a bounce. So that's what I'm looking for. The bottom end being down here somewhere around 55 if it does crack that 80. And then if we do crack 80 and we continue to get down through that 55 area, then you possibly look to continue the selling for the day. Fridays to me seem to be they pick a direction and they just continue like last few weeks. They've been just buying up and without any reprieve. Seems today it's been a big sell day, but there is some reprieve here, so possibly could do some sort of range bound. But Microsoft, if it cracks this low here at 405, then you could see this NQ melt. But I'm really happy with that call out there. That failed breakout, that's a trade I would love to take every time. I didn't take it today just because I'm content and I'm not really trusting of this Top Step X platform at the moment for my fills and some of the stuff. Oh man, pretty nice move there. I said the 90. So 810, let's call it. You get filled at 810.50. You're looking to catch down to just 90. That's 810 to 90. That's 20 points. $400 per contract. You get in with a 2 guy, you get 1 guy off at 90, you got the other guy break even. Now you just see how much you can go, right? You got $400 off in a free trade on a really good setup, right? I'm going to guess if I had my delta up, we would have a delta divergence there on the breakout. The highs probably didn't crack on the delta. New buyers just didn't come in. Bigger buyers, I should say, because retail was coming in hard at 85% long at a level that probably was going to be a short. So that's where I would have taken that. If you took it with 2, like my normal strategy, take 2 contracts there, take 1 off at 90, and then let this one breathe at break even. As you crack 80, then we'll move our stop down to 80. But realistically, you've secured $400 on it. Now you let this one play out and see what you can get out of it. And Microsoft got the high end. Now it's selling off at the top, like this wedge that it's got going on here. You can see the wedge. It got right to the high end and started to sell off from there. We are also at this area here, this 793. So it's kind of trying to hold that 793 to rotate and continue to the high side. So just be careful here. 790, like I said, if you have multiple on, took half off at 90, and then let this thing play out either at break even, probably get stopped out now, and then it rotates up. There's probably a stop if you were just at break even on the second contract. So you secure 400, do that. If you're the kind of person who just takes your risk off, leaves the stop at the high, you're still involved, you're still short. So it just all depends on your strategy. It all depends on how you trade, what your executions are like, and all that. So it is Friday. I am going to this one shipped. This one shipped. This one shipped. So 3 orders shipped today. Good. Very good to see. Now we're just going to be patient, wait. I'm not really going to execute anything else. I'm staying on just to kind of be a companion to anybody who's looking to trade late in the day on Friday. Me, I'm pretty much done. I'm just going to be here, like I said, as a companion, see what I can do, see if I can call out anything else. I think we called out a couple good shorts here. I caught this piece. I caught that one. That's my $400 in winners. I also caught something around here. But this one I called out probably would have been your, if not your best, similar to this one. You got your $400 off from 10 to 90. That's all you can ask for right there. That little piece. That's all I want to catch in my moves. I would love to get it to roll over and catch this whole big move. That's fantastic. But most of the time I'm not going to be able to do that. So if I can secure good base hits, doubles on these kind of moves right here where I can secure my profit and then just get one contract to break even and then continue to rotate it down, then that's what my strategy calls for. Then you can make some really good moves there. I think I got a little cold coming. I could feel it, you could feel when the back of your throat gets a little annoyed. Yeah. I think this short comes in and continues to play out to the downside a bit. These levels have played out really, really nicely. I see Microsoft rolling over. I don't know where you're long from. I think this continues to push down a bit with the equities pushing down. Long from 779. I think if it breaks 779, then it's going to rotate down. I think you break through 779, you probably fail down to 55. In that area. Just hanging tight here. Not much that I'm looking to do. I'm pretty much done trading for the day. Like I said, even if I wasn't, 5 minutes to a close of the hour, I do not trade. I wait. That's part of my rules.
I wouldn't hate, like I said, I wouldn't have hated this short here. That failed breakout. Heavy tilt, like 85% long there. Was targeting 90 as that first target. So my normal strategy, get on with 2, short down to 90, and then take one off. And then if you're the type of person who leaves your initial stop above, you caught a 2-to-1 there. So you really you'd risk 100 to make, or risk 2 to make 4. If you made 4 on that first contract, you could risk 2 more and then kind of hold this, or you could have got to break even like me and trailed some and then secured a bit more on that, because you do have a little bit of a wedge forming here, could possibly break out. Microsoft got back to the high again and trying to fail the high again. So Microsoft's been our kind of following that, like our leader here. Nvidia did sell off a bit, and Apple is wedging. So you got that double top kind of action on the Microsoft. If you do get some selling to kind of come in here and break down a bit below that 405.40, could initiate some selling. But if it does break the highs, then possibly continue on to the high side. Like I said, Monday is a holiday, shortened day. It's going to be not an easy trade. Probably not even worth getting in. But I'm going to be coming on. Like I said, I'm not going to trade my funded account. I'm going to do that on this account that we got going right now. Everything's pushing up. If you break through the 811 now, you are only 77% long, so still kind of tilty high side here. You get that fail of Apple, fail of Microsoft, fail of Nvidia, then potential look for this to fail this level as well. But you gotta be careful. Could run you over here. 10 o'clock is now hit. We are in that final 30 minutes, I believe, of the Europeans playing around. So if you are on YouTube, if you're in Tradecaster, if you sign up for that 7-day free trial, you're going to get a bunch of free stuff this week. Deck has set up everything to be super fucking awesome. You got Tradecaster, Fox Runner, TradeZella, Trade Ideas, and Lightspeed, all super discounted. So it's going to be really, really good. You get some basically 1 month plus free in every single one of those things. So you like a lot of tools, you can make your money using those tools that month, that you get to use them for free. Sign up now through Sunday, I believe, and that's when we're going to be able to get this thing going. So there's the push through the 811. Microsoft broke highs, so the longs are still holding up. That 79 entry that you had there, Ray, pushing up to the high side is still good, still valid. If you were at break even below this 80 level, you can see if this will continue on. You're at 88, 89% long on the tilt. Yeah, still holding. Watch that VWAP for targets if you can get to hold this. If it holds 811, it should be good. I feel like the lack of follow through pushing down on this tilt here tells us that they want to kind of push off. Yeah, it's a shitty week for you. We had a good week. Sometimes you just don't see it well. Sometimes you don't execute well. You probably even saw it well. I mean, everything you sent me, you saw it good. All the levels were good. Just, sometimes executions just kind of roll over on you, and then you start to get into a bad little funk. Yeah. So I think it'll be fine. Start up next week again. I think really you need to not trade Monday, or come on Monday, just take a look at what's going on to get out of the funk, take that day, that holiday day, and just move on to the next day when it's actually trading like fully liquid and there's not a holiday and everything like that. So I think realistically you should hold off on Monday. I'm going to be on. I'm going to stream. I'm going to watch. I'm going to be trading this Top Step X account. I'm not really going to be looking to do anything with my funded accounts or personal brokerages or anything like that on Monday, holiday shortened day. I'll come on. I'll watch. I may execute, but if you have the rules where you don't want to execute, you just want to watch, that's probably the best bet for if you're in a funk on a holiday. I've been seeing the market really, really well. So, some of my executions, like I called this one out really, really pretty ideally for what I would have liked to have caught on it. I said the failed breakout here, heavy tilt to the long side. If you get a failure below 811, rotate it back to 90. I mean, that played out exactly to the tick. So we should have been able to capitalize on that. I didn't really want to take any more trades the rest of the day. I'm just being sticking to my rules, where I said, okay, I'm up, I'm done for Friday. Friday I tend to go red to green, all that, but we're still going to call out levels. We're going to call out things that we see. If I'm talking about certain things, short or long or levels, it may help you stay in a trade. Like with Ray, he's in that 79 long, and that's that breakout point. There's a good level here. You could use that as a stop. Never quite got to it, and now you're continuing on to the upside with the target of possibly that 869, between that VWAP and 869, where that breakdown happened originally, right? If you start to creep up like this, buyers have been getting involved. It is 88% long on the tilt, so be careful. Every time that tilt gets that heavy, just be careful of a little bit of a pullback. I wouldn't say that it should spook you out. I would just say just be mindful of it, especially as we approach that 406.18 on the Microsoft, right? 406.18 has been support, bounce, resistance. So now we're approaching it again. If we get to it, just be mindful of that being that high end of the move. If we crack it and get a good rally out of it, then this can continue on. So watch Microsoft get at that 18 level. 406.18. That's been my magic number on Microsoft. If we've been trading Microsoft, we would have been making a lot of good money on it. But I haven't traded equities in a couple of years. You have one contract on left, or you got a couple on, Ray, for the micros? Two micros on. That'll work. From 79. What about 120 plus ticks currently? Up 100 and something bucks on that. Sitting about 100 and change. Or just shy of 100. That's the power of two micros. Even you could see that you could still make pretty good money on two micros. Especially if you can live within your means, right? So 170 bucks on two contracts. I want to see what happens right here. It's 80, exactly 80% long. That probably slows you down a little. Like I said, that 80% long, but you also could get like a whippy top, right? This kind of wick here. Be careful. Microsoft is selling off. It front ran that 406.18 level a little bit. Here's that Microsoft. If you're not watching it, data is pretty much real time. I could go over to my TD and have that running in the background. I'm glad I'm able to kind of get through some of the quirks of Top Step X for you guys, so you don't have to deal with it. And things that if you do end up getting Top Step X in the future and you do like the platform, just kind of what to look out for. With the trade copier today, I was short here on both accounts. I was short from here. I had my stop above this level right there, and as it was moving that way, price just decided to give up. I mean, the copier or whatever, the platform decided to quit on me, and just flattened the position right here down like 2 and change or whatever. And then it ended up rotating back to the other side. I checked my other account that it was copying to, which we're on right now, and it was rolling over perfectly fine. We were in the money, so we trailed out and we took some of our profits, and we tried to. The stop didn't work. Didn't trail because I went to go click off the trade copier, and as soon as I clicked off the trade copier, it flattened the position. So I ended up taking like half of this position, half of this win, which is fine. I'm cool with that. But this was purely based on tilt. Took that. This one also, we took the short here, and I was very quick to trail this. I grabbed $200 on that one on one contract, so was able to kind of secure these moves here based on tilt and levels. But the quirks of Top Step X copier already kind of got me a little bit not concerned, but just to be more cautious with copying and be more cautious with watching both accounts that it's working with, or 3 or 4 or 5 accounts that you're working with. And then with any copier, I think you really should be very careful, be mindful of what the copy is going on. Watch your trade positions if you can on both accounts at the same time, so you can understand if it's filling or if it's not. In Quant Tower, I do like the copier. Sometimes it's off by a tick or two, which is fine, which is understandable, right? If you're marketing in, it's got to still do its thing on the other end, so just be careful of that. But with Top Step X, it didn't even let me manage the position. It just shut it, it flattened it, and then it didn't flatten both accounts, it only flattened one. So good thing I had the wherewithal to switch over, check the other account, saw that it was green, and decided to try and manage it. Wouldn't let me manage it on that account because you could see no manual trading allowed when the copier isn't active. So that's just kind of what I saw so far. So there is some bugginess going on. I know they sent out an alert with bracket orders being an issue, so just be careful if you're using it. And when you do end up getting in on it, just be mindful that there's things like that could occur. I do prefer like standalone platforms over web-based platforms. I think Top Step X is going to be a very, very key part to the future of this prop firm stuff. The fees are less. The tilt meter is, I'll pay for that all day. It's fantastic. Like right now, it was tilted to 84-85%, and it gave me that sell, at least a reprieve. You're going to get price to move in your direction that you want if you're just trying to fade some of these highs. But just don't take it as like the end all be all, because it could be super heavy tilted, but the price is just rocking and rolling to one side, right? So just trying to give everybody a little bit of a guide on what's going on with Top Step X. I'm gonna take 2 seconds. Give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna be right back.
those off and then do it. Oh gosh, there's a Maximus here.
That's the part I didn't see. I didn't get it. Can you have a little time? Show me one more time.
All you have to do is give me one more minute. I'll be right back. No, you're good. Clean it. So not just to clean it, but to that should have the right proper grind. So all good. Just make sure you bang it down.
SMCI CEO live now. I'm gonna go over to Deck's room just to see what's up with that SMCI stuff. I'm still in my room. Don't worry. I just want to hear it. What he's doing on that stock stuff. So he's got SMCI's move going.
What is it that Supermicro does is any different from your biggest competitors? Names like Dell, HPE.
Yes, we have something special. First, we are very lucky company. Since 30 years ago, I founded a company.
There's that VWAP, Ray. Hopefully you took that and you're still in. You still in, dude? Right here, right? At 61. How many ticks do you catch there? Another 100? No, about about another 100. So what? 200 and change. 221. Hell yeah. I love it. Good stuff, buddy. I like that. Hold, breakout, VWAP target. It's got less heavy. Microsoft broke right through that 406.18, which helped that position out a lot. Really, really good moves. I'm glad you were able to catch some there, Ray. That's good. Up 221 on that position there. How many contracts did you get on to start? Probably bounced a little bit. You started with 5 and took a couple off. 79. Look at that push. Still pushing up. That's 869 is that breakdown level. Recover the whole thing. Really what I mentioned here, right? You had that bounce setup where you had that higher low, higher high. I kind of anticipated this after this tilty failure of that level to possibly rotate back down here, but holding this level strong gave you a little bit of a breakout confidence for that third touch of that line there. What's up? Where you going? much right to that 69, that 70 level there. So utilizing the tilt, you're able to catch shorter scalpier moves, shorter term stuff. It also can give you entries into longs. Okay. One more minute. All you needed was a grinder. The machine? Yeah, you can turn it off. Sorry, not only am I a trading streamer, I'm a barista at home, so I have to teach the wife how to use the new espresso machine. Microsoft failed 406.18. So if you took that target to VWAP to that 70 level, you're right in the liquidity zone as well, right? You're in this liquidity zone right here. This is that breakdown point of that trend line. So anywhere in this liquidity zone could fail at any time if it holds this area, right? For me, that's an important area. But if things continue to rally, then you can break right through it and then move on to the other side. But for now, we're just chilling. Like I mentioned, everything that Fridays is usually my harder day. We're up 421. Got no qualms there. Microsoft regaining that 406.18, so it flushed through the bottom, popping back above it. If you get a failure of it, then maybe that rotation comes now. Short term, that kind of ground out to a level where you'd want to probably take a short from. It built in and built in and built in. We got no delta, so I have nothing to tell you as far as divergences are concerned. But like I said, with Microsoft failing 406.18 again, failure of VWAP could initiate selling once again. We're at 1021. See what happens as the day progresses. I'm not gonna stay on. I probably won't even stay on all the way till. I'll stay on till 11 because that's my schedule. But I'm not gonna stay on any later than that today. Try and share the stream out. Try and get people in here. And like I said, when we get to 25 viewers, then we're going to give away one free month of TradeCaster after we get to build this up. What's up, Profit Trader? How you doing? I did pretty well this week, and I'm not giving anything else back. So I'm pretty much just sitting here watching, waiting, calling out levels, calling out some tilt. We passed the combine yesterday again, so we're just holding off on that. We're trading a Top Step X account right now. You know, calling out some of the little nuances of it and all that. So hopefully you're doing pretty good, Profit Trader. Like I said, I think this could be a really good level to kind of catch another short from. I think we've built up into the level. Microsoft got right to 406.18, tried to hold above it, couldn't, popped above it again. Now it's holding below. If you can get a breakdown through 406, you may continue to sell off, and that may drive our NASDAQ to the downside. Looking at NVIDIA. NVIDIA rallied to highs, gave you a little bit of a wick off top. We're right in the middle of a range for NVIDIA, so I don't really have any ideas until it gets up to like 741 to see what happens up there. Apple rotating back down to the support line. Microsoft has been really like that middle ground of kind of what's going on. They're mirroring each other a bit, the NQ and Microsoft. You can see it here, failing that 406.18 level again. I've been talking about that level for weeks now, I feel like. So you fail this 406, now you got to start to flush it down. We are in this liquidity zone here, right? So like I said, there is an ability to kind of scale into a short up until the high end of 900, if that's kind of what you're looking to do. I think any sort of failure of this area, though, kind of continues to push us down. So just be mindful of, if you have all your tools, like today I'm not on my normal platform of Quant Tower. I don't have my cumulative delta. I know that they have that on Tradevate as well. So maybe at some point they'll have it here on Top Step X, but right now, no. I didn't. I think we'll get some reprieve from this grind up. And like I said, with the help of Microsoft breaking 406, you could get this rotation back to the downside, down to that 820 area. But I do have up to 900 where that could be where I'm wrong. 912, 900. That's where that breakdown happened, right? The breakdown initially happened at that. It kind of popped up into that zone. These two lines here was the opening range, I said. That was that opening range trade. Was that where that was? Yeah. So this is the 730 number, and then the opening range was here at 830. That was this candle right there. That's what this whole little zone is right there. So that's your opening range. Still left at the highs. I'm not looking at ES or anything but the equities and the NQ itself. It is Friday. I do not like to overtrade on Friday. It's where I get myself into trouble. So I set myself some rules. I go up a little bit, shut it down. I'm still, like I said, calling out ideas, what to be mindful at these levels. You're sitting right on VWAP. You're sitting at this 870, 869, 870 level where we got the breakdown before. It is the liquidity zone that I was talking about here on my longer time frame zone. So could tick into here and rotate back down to 793, 800. And you do have Microsoft failing that at 406.18. So we are in this little support, though, too, this little trend line here. So if you crack this trend line to the downside, continue to rotate, could give you that rotation back down. I know Ray caught that long from 79 all the way up to VWAP, which is fantastic. That's a really good trade. 2 micros, the power of 2 micros, get you $220 on that. You know, let's see what happens here. It could give you that failure. Or if you get one more pop up and then a failed breakout above the high, then a re-acceptance below 70 gets you that true confirmation of the short. If you're a little bit more risky and you want to take that short or have taken the short already from that 70 level, just be mindful that you might have to give it a little room up above. I mean, I would even at least be above 90. Really, 900 is like a true stop. So it's a little wide right there, 30 points. If you are playing that pre-breakdown move, right? If you would have already entered and played the breakdown already, it's just slowing down quite a bit, you know, momentum-wise. $63 long, not a super heavy tilt, but like I said, Microsoft holding it a little bit lower. You're creeping up in this. Pretty good day, up 421. The whole week,
I think we were at least up $3,000 for the week, including today, maybe a little bit more. Probably more, but we did have a really good week. We got funded again on the 100K from February 5th till today. So that's 2 weeks ish. About 2 weeks, 6,000 plus on 2 weeks worth of work. Can't be mad at that. Everything has been done live on here except for one of the trades where I did kind of put it live on my Instagram account right as it was happening. So, I had a business call that day and I hopped off my stream down a little bit, and then I ended up coming back and making a pretty good hammered short trade. That's the only trade I think that I did that was off the live feed here. So everything's been true, transparent. You've seen the profit curves, you've seen all of the little account performance statements and stuff like that. Last month we did really well. We were up really good in January and had 2 tilty days that blew us up. And this month we're really looking to overcome that, set new rules in place to avoid that tilt, to avoid losing those accounts, and get our funding totally back and be a better trader for it. Every time you burn something, you gotta learn about what you did and how to make something a little bit better. I think streaming and trying to interact helps my trading, but also at the same time, sometimes I get a little bit, either I don't pay enough attention here or pay enough attention there. So I'm working on getting it a little bit back, focusing on one account at a time. That's a big thing. Like I said, I have these Top Step X accounts that since I was a beta tester early, I have this early access to get the Top Step X. I got it for the tilt pretty much exclusively, and they offer it for like $4 and change per 50K account. So I could get up to 5 of them for March. Since I'm already funded in the 100K, and these ones are about halfway to getting funded, I will probably just wait till I get maybe next week to get the rest of the combines, just to have them. And if I just sit on them for a couple months, it's not a big deal. It kind of just gives you the buffer of, if you have 3 funded accounts and you have 3 waiting in the wings, you can not be more aggressive and loose with the other ones, but have the comfort of knowing that even though you have those other accounts, if you lose one of the 50Ks, you have another 50K waiting for you. So that's kind of where I'm at with that thought process on the combines, as opposed to not having them, right? Overall, looking like it's I'd say like this is where we were looking for either a failed break above here, up into that 880, and then get this rotation down. See if this tilt will get heavier long, about closer to 75-80%. And Microsoft's still holding below at 406.18. So Microsoft holding below here gives you the confidence to say that this here is going to fail at this point or at some point soon. We were looking for that little pop above. So we got to the tick above there, maybe even with it, and now it's starting to rotate down. I said I would go if you got a wick like that, but you really need to maybe get even further up to 880 and then get that failure of this yellow line, pop down and get it rotating down to the 20s, and then probably beyond if it does start to initiate some selling. We do have a new 30-minute candle, so that 30-minute close right at the base of that liquidity zone over here. This 30-minute here failed the base of the liquidity zone, and now we're still creeping up in here. Microsoft is giving you a wedge, a bear bull flag-ish, kind of where it whipped above. If it comes closer to 406.18 and then starts to fail, that might give you the push that you want to get above into that 80s and then fail and rotate down, and then you can take that short through the bottom. But I think front running it is kind of risky because you have to risk almost up to that 900 area, and that's 30 points. So it's almost an outside risk if you're going to front run it, right? So there's that push up. Now you got that push up. You're getting not that heavy on tilt, 67%. We're pushing up to the high end. Like I said, up to 900 you really have as risk here, even into that 912. This is that opening range that I have set here. Normally I have it auto plotted on my quant tower. We're trading a Top Step X combine because we're waiting till Monday or Tuesday, because Monday's the holiday, to
work through that funded account a little bit. So we're trading on these two combines just to trade them, just to see what we got going on. We're up 421 on the day. I'm not executing any more trades. I'm just kind of talking you through what I'm thinking with this one. We did creep up to 406.18 on Microsoft, and now we possibly could look to see if we could fail the bottom end of here, maybe that 867 level here to catch a short and then risk to the high there at 80, because that's what I was really looking for. I was looking for a failed break above and then get the rotation, and you could short from here now and then see, risk to the high side and see how far down you could take it. I think a reasonable target could be that 820 level. That was a good bounce if you want to front run it to 830. If you have more than one contract on, like I normally do, I would take one off. If I got two on, take one off down here and then let the other one just ride out and see how far down you can take it. So that short's starting to play out. Microsoft is selling. It went right to 406.18 and sold off perfectly. You can see that wick right to 406.18 and bounced. So we came into that liquidity zone. Now we're that 30-minute close right at the bottom. If we can break through here, should get another flush to the downside. Like I said, we wanted to wait. You got to be really, really patient. Let it get above this. Try and get some longs involved. Fail that. Get heavier tilt, and then see if you could short through the bottom here. If it's gonna play out, this is the probability that where I want to see it actually go pretty quickly. If it starts to dance around and starts to creep back up, then I might just cut it. But right now, it's just sitting on the VWAP, looking to kind of maybe potentially roll some more. But Microsoft has to continue its sell side pressure. Let's see what happens with it, right? I'm not in it, so I can talk through it all I want. I'm just giving you ideas of how I would have looked at this price action and how I would execute on it if I were still actually taking trades on the day, and just kind of giving you an idea of how you could think about certain trades, right? Think through reasons and have like a good plan, right? I have this liquidity zone. I had a 30-minute that closed right at the base of it. I have Microsoft failing a key zone. It's the heaviest weighted, right? You got a breakdown, a break above a key level where you got a wick off top. Maybe the tilt got a little bit heavy. I didn't really see. It could have been in the 70s. Anything up in that 70 range, that's retail getting long at a high, which is very interesting, where other people who have larger accounts, maybe professional type traders, are looking to fade the retail. So if everybody's long, the harder trade is short. You take the short through the breakdown of 70, 69, 70, and then hope to break through VWAP and then below. So if you can get that crack below, then you should get the selling to continue on and push through. So that's what I look for in these trades. And look, right now it's still playing out. You should still be pretty safe. If you crack the lows, then maybe look to see... hell yeah. We love all you, Deck. So you got the crack of the low there. That's good. Should get the selling to kind of continue. If not, if this is a failed breakdown, then it rotates up. Maybe put your stop to break even and see what happens. If you have more than one contract on, I do think that you could possibly... I said I was going to take one off at 50. Maybe I would have front ran it a little bit to 54 and then just left that one stop at break even. So have a plan, have an idea of what you want to do. Look to secure your profits as it moves in your direction. And then, like I said, I'm more of a scalper. I'm more take some profits as we go. But I do think that there are bigger rotations to be had in some of these moves if you're able to give them more room or size appropriately, where you can give all the way up to like 900 and look to risk. That's a big risk to reward, but realistically, if you could size it correctly, you could scale in, you could potentially get this thing to play out in your favor. If you were like me and you wanted to, you would have got in, maybe took one off down here. If you got to break even, then maybe you're out. If you're one of the people who sets it and forgets it, your stop's still good above the high here, and you could look to rotate down to that 811 level if it kind of holds. Microsoft is still playing along in your favor, so you have that. Nvidia is holding highs, but it could, if it does break down, then it does give you that extra confluence to kind of continue it. Apple also pushing down. So really, the big three names here right now that have been driving things are pushing to the downside. So it should help your short out if that's what you're thinking, right? So we're talking through how I would think about this trade if I were going to take it. Also, having good rules in place where I don't take these trades now, because I know Fridays for myself tend to be days where I give money back from a good week, and I'll risk a little more than I want to. I'll go up and I'll go back red. So I'm trying to set in new rules to help maximize my discipline and keep some of the gains that I've had. And it's really Friday is a capital preservation type day, right? If you're up really good for the week, you don't have to trade any day of the week if you feel like that's what you need to be. This is just kind of basing. You're not really getting that good follow through that I would have liked, especially with the big flush from Microsoft. I'm going to guess that NVIDIA is probably holding highs yet. If NVIDIA can break down, the only issue is I think it does have a little bit higher to go. NVIDIA has up to 741. We're right in the middle of a range, but now it's starting to sell, so maybe that continues to push. Microsoft still pushing downside, so you might be in good and still fine on this short. It's just taking its time to break. Apple pushing down lower as well. So I think it's just maybe taking its time to roll. We are, like I said, at that liquidity zone, a longer term liquidity area. You just need this thing to break this and then accept back down. If you can get the sellers to play along, then it'll go. But it's just sitting here slowly grinding. I want to be right kind of quick trader. I don't like to sit in it too long. If you did get in at that level at 68, 69 and your stop's above the high, you're still in good shape. You're kind of right at view op, holding below it, holding below that initial entry zone, that initial entry level. Microsoft is still pushing down, trying to get to lows of this little consolidation that it broke out from before. If it does flush that could trigger some stops and maybe continue to flush it down even further and hopefully get you to play along. But with the heaviness and the lack of follow through on the equities, on the lack of follow through on the index, the equities are playing along there. It's starting to help us. So I think you should be fine to hold until you start to see NVIDIA or Microsoft turn to the upside. So this holding highs and Microsoft holding lows, right? You got Microsoft here and we're up here. That was that initial breakdown point, and we're kind of just holding in this liquidity area, right? It's where price wants to be. Just be careful if Microsoft does turn up, like it's starting to bounce turn. That's where I would probably consider starting to take a cut. If I had one on and one off, I probably was already out of one and break even at the other. So no harm, no foul there on the breakdown. Usually I want to see if this is going to break down. I want it to break down and hold here. If it's going to be a failed breakdown, rotate higher, stop people out. Microsoft catching a bounce, then that's out. If this catches a bounce and rotates up, then you're going to get stopped and be done. But as of right now, it's just kind of chopping. You have to have some rules of your own set into place, what your risk tolerance is and what your idea for a trade is going to be, and then execute based on that. If you think it's going to happen, say within the next minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and if it doesn't happen within that time frame, it's not frowned upon to cut your trade, especially within the futures market, how it's driven by some of the other external factors and not necessarily just on its own. With these names. So, if it doesn't go right away, if you're with the type of trader that needs it to go right away, then set a time frame and then cut it. If it's not moving your direction, it doesn't hurt to be at break even or a small profit or small loss, because it kind of eliminates that full loss on you. If you're somebody like one of my old trading coaches at T3, he says, buy the ticket, take the ride. So you set your stop above your previous swing. You set your first take profit at 1-to-1. Hopefully you get off that 1-to-1. So what is it, 69 to 81? So let's call it 70 to 80. We'll call that 10 points. If you get 10 points the other way, 70 to 60, then you take off that one contract. You leave that one up there because that's technically a break-even trade now if you took off 1-to-1, right? So you took off one, you have one up here. So 10 points, it's $200 you're risking. You made $200. So if you get stopped out above the high, no harm, no foul. So there's different strategies, different ways to go about it, and that's where I think that you just got to find your personality and your trading style, and whatever you think is going to be best for how you're going to execute, and then go from there. For me, time stuff is kind of important. I'm gonna trail this tight. Like I said, I probably got one off, and it would have been stopped at break even already. So, $200 up on this trade would have been the likely outcome of this, just because of the lack of follow through on it. That's really how I play out these multiple contract entries. So if I see a wick above the high, failed breakout, rotate down through a level, a strong body, I'm entered to, I would get the first one off, like I said, probably right here at 55-ish, right at the base of these wicks. That gives me $200. Then you start to rotate back up. My stop would have been at break even, and that's how I secure some of these profits. With a move like this, big candle, inside candle, big breakdown, break the low of the level, you expect if it's going to continue, it's going to hold and break down. So if you're at break even, you're going to secure, because more than likely if it breaks your stop, it's going to continue back to the high side or the low side, depending on where you're at, and stop you out anyway. So you might as well take your small profit and walk away, right? So that's how I look at these trades, how I would have, executed. I talked out the reasoning behind why we were considering a short in this area, and then how we were waiting for this kind of confluence more than just entering at the zone and just waiting and risking, almost front running it and then risking all the way to 900, because you could really scale in all the way up to 900 and still be right on the short. But that's just a totally different strategy as well, right? That's something that's a little bit longer term. That's something for somebody who's going to build a position that maybe they could possibly hold into a few days, right? Where you're building into something that's like around that 900 level, be wrong at that opening range low, and then just try and sell it off and then shed contracts as you come down. So they get in with a feeler, they scale in as it moves into that 900 level, and then if it fails at any point beforehand, then they're in with a certain amount of contracts, and that's how bigger players kind of get filled on these kind of moves as well. So if you're thinking of it in that way, then that's where it is. Where was he? Didn't know he left. So there is again another attempt to break out, fail. Could this be the scale in and break down now? Microsoft's still beaten down a bit. You're still in that liquidity zone. There's still time for it to fail. Like I said, maybe I would have gotten in again on a failure, but really, I'm not trading it, so I could talk about it all I want. When it comes down to executing, you have to understand what the levels are telling you, right? This is what I'm looking at as far as NVIDIA giving you a breakout up to that 741.67 level. That was where I wanted that to go short. Obviously, it front ran it a little bit by 30 pennies, but now NVIDIA has reached the level where it wants to short. Microsoft had reached the level where it wanted to short at 406.18, failed it, and now is rotating down. Apple just has nothing above it. It's just been really heavy. So every little chance that everything else gets sold off, Apple also rolls over. So we're looking at Microsoft as our sort of leader at the point, and NVIDIA, if it can crack the low of this little rising wedge, then you can see that our liquidity zone is still acting as valid, right? Now we are still valid in that short idea. I believe if you did have the stop above there, you still haven't been stopped out, so you're still good, and you're still able to play this short. So if you're in that buy the ticket, take the ride type mentality, you're still in. You can still get that room to the downside with some help from your friends at Microsoft and NVIDIA. So I'm talking through these things, trying to give you some ideas, trying to help out as best I can, while not executing and sticking to my discipline, and showing that discipline can help keep you around longer term. We're up 421 on the day. that first execution on this, I probably would have been up 200 on that, so maybe 621, but I didn't take it, so it doesn't matter. It's not a real thing. You know, you could talk shit all you want. I would be up $1 million if I took this trade. It doesn't matter unless you take it and execute and actually show live on a stream or somewhere that people trust that you actually took a trade and that you're making executions, right? So we're just being as transparent as possible, showing you how to do this with a day job, with a family, with a side business, with whatever you want. Just try and get going. So I see a couple friendly faces entering. I appreciate you guys coming around and taking a look at the new stream over on Tradecaster. You can see this probably looking to get heavier now. NVIDIA looking to break down that 438 and 75 cents. So if it cracks that, then this should continue to roll. I'd say first target's 820. Get into this range. That's where you're going to look to see if it's going to bounce or if it's going to flush. You could see our liquidity zone here playing out nice. You got that 30-minute candle closing here, looking to rotate back down. NVIDIA looking to crack and continue, but just be careful because NVIDIA is such a monster. It could just at any time bounce. And Microsoft also was at the lows from the day, well, not the day, but from this push down. But we got a little bit of like a, I guess you'd consider it a head and shoulders type deal. So if it breaks down that 405.20, look out below. Friday before President's Day. Could be any reason to sell. February is another reason to sell. It's just seasonality-wise. Years of an election, February tends to get negative as well. So historically speaking, there is some reasons for this to be a continuation to the downside. So if you were in and your original stop is above that wick there, right? Because you waited for that break of the high and the failure of this level. You got in above 68, 69s, anywhere down there. You never got stopped out if you're the type of trader that leaves your stop above 81. And now you're continuing to rotate to the downside. And hopefully you can get some selling to kind of continue to push you down a bit. And I would be more inclined now that you've broken down and you've held that level to go to break even. Or at least secure maybe VWAP here, be above that 63, 64 level. You've secured some of your move, and now you look to see if you can get the full rotation down to 20s, down to 811 possibly, and be mindful of this blue little support here that could give you a bounce. If it does get all the way down there, it could just fail this and rotate up higher even. But overall, I think you're in profit now. You have not taken too much heat on it. You got close to getting stopped, not really that threatened by it. Another failed breakdown gives you that fail and that continued push to the downside. So I'm just watching it now. It needs to hold below the VWAP area for it to be a continuation, but being a scalper type trader, like if you entered this time now on the way through and you added, let's say you entered with 2, or you're a micro trader and you entered with multiple and you took off half at the bottom end, you could be risk free, and then everything that's from here is just profits. But that's just up to you how you manage your trades, and you go from there. So, but like I said, we're up 421. I'm about done with my stream. I end at 11. We got 9 minutes. I would manage your position however you feel fit. But just be careful. It could just base around here for the rest of the day and be flat. It could rally to the highs, and it could just tick up here one more time and sell off completely. Excuse me. Reasonably speaking, I would have probably been out of here off the stream, but I did tell everybody that every day I will be on 8:30 to 11, so I'm here for the next 9 minutes. 9 minutes. Still valid, still good. Probably never even got to the break-even point if you're up at 69, so you could still be considered even, but might just stop you out, and you never know.
Can you read that? I just want to put in your big boy thing.
Let's see what we got here.
Like a little black kind of just or whatever. You can take some stuff. I think it's cute to stop doing stuff like that. Since, espresso was really like we're here now and stuff.
All right, I'm gonna edit the top. Don't post it yet. I'll edit the top a little bit.
I change it 5 times. I'm not like kidding.
Yeah, you changed it too many times. It is almost 11 o'clock on a Friday. Most people kind of try to get their things done in the morning and get done on a Friday, especially traders in this futures market. You tend to see a little flatten out, especially towards lunchtime, 12 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time, whatever you guys, West Coast time it is, I don't know. But, you know, you watch price action kind of flat out. You see volume kind of just continue to diminish. That's what this is down on the bottom here is the volume. You can see it pushing to the downside. So less participants, less follow through on things. So you kind of just flatten out. You get a little tired there in the middle of the day. Monday is a holiday, so it's sort of like a 3-day, 4-day weekend if they wanted to get out here early, right? So these are things you have to think about while you're, you know, entering and exiting trades. Microsoft's catching a bounce here as well. So like I was mentioning a couple minutes ago, that time stop idea where if it doesn't play out for you in your favor, it doesn't give you that follow through and that hold within the next couple minutes, if that's what you're looking for, if your time horizon is a shorter time frame trader, is to get a move like this big giant push down. Obviously, we didn't get anything that's going to tell us to give us that fast of a move, right? This was a purely news-based kind of just market open, continue to flush down right into the next news event. And then once you got that next news event, that number release, then you start to get that reprieve and start to rally back up and try and regain what happened with those hot PPI number and consumer sentiment numbers. So if you're looking for something like this and you don't get it, then cut it. If you're looking to just slowly grind down and kind of time correct all the way to this trend line, then it could do this for an hour, 2 hours, you know, all the way till 1 o'clock. I mean, really, if it's going to want to just do this and kind of correct, it could do this for a long time. There's really no saying if price wants to be right where it's at, it'll stay here, especially with lower liquidity. I feel like you might not get the follow through you want before the close of the day. My rule states 5 minutes to an hourly close. I don't take any trades. I shut it down a long time ago. I made that final trade over here. That was like 9:30. So I haven't executed anything since 9:30. I was up 420 on that. We had some platform issues a little bit with the Top Step X copier. It was a little wonky, so just be mindful of that if you do go over to Top Step X at all. It's a good platform. Everything on here, I mean, really just getting the tilt alone is really, really helpful for me. That's what I like it for the best. It's TradingView charts built into their own little web-based thing. I prefer the hard platforms built into, programs built into the computer. They're a little bit more reactive, a little bit better with their functionalities, but still you get data latencies and stuff like that. But we had a little bit of weirdness with the copier. The leader shut off, then the trail, whatever you call it, the follower account decided that it didn't want to shut down, but the leader account just flattened itself. So it was very odd. So you were just kind of like working through something with this newer platform here that I'm trying to try out for today and Monday. I'm going to still be trading on it when I'm trading that other funded account come Tuesday, but it's going to be more on the background, more of like just execute when I have the opportunity to, not really focusing solely directly on this because I'll be focusing on the funded account and really just trying to manage one account at a time. These two are 50Ks. We're about halfway through 51, 172, and this one's going to only show 51, 774, 7444. So for some reason, I don't understand how this got to 351, but it did. It was just like a very weird setup here where, like I said, it cut off and then let this account play along. So my true trade actually played out and I was managing it correctly, and this is our true P&L count. The leader account got all messed up and funky, so it only went up 351, but we executed and made good trades for that 421. So now you're pretty much, if you are in the short idea, you're probably out. You trailed out. Like I said, you have all the way up until that 900, 912 level. When it comes to that 11 o'clock hour, you're probably going to see profit taking. The lack of follow through on the short, like I mentioned a couple times, if you're like me, you would have secured one, probably made $200 on this one. Same deal here. Secured one contract, and then probably even moved that trail down to that breakout point, because if you do get that bounce off of VWAP, this is the kind of move that you get to happen. So without that follow through that you're looking for, those time stops, really play into your strategies. Try and include that if that's something that you're interested in. It could, like I said, it could bounce around. It could trick some people to go long, could come in, could rotate all the way up to highs. With Monday being a holiday, there could be a lot of profit taking from the shorts. This is where that ignition happened, right? The base here, breakdown, came through, rotated down. So we've cleaned up that whole entire move consumer confidence number. So now we've cleaned that up. Now who knows where it wants to go. If it wants to clean up the PPI number, it's got to get all the way up to here at that 18,000 level. So just be cautious with everything that you're doing. It's Friday. It's a shortened, it's a 3-day weekend basically, because President's Day Monday will get you a holiday shortened market in the futures. I think the equities is totally closed. So do with that what you may. I am going to shut the stream down. I hope everybody had a great week. We had a really good week. We're going to come back. I'm going to stream on Monday. I'm probably not going to execute much. I'll probably only execute on the Top Step X just to, if I see something that I like. But I think realistically, I think if you're going to come in here and just hammer out trades on a super low liquidity holiday day, you're not going to have any real confluences other than what you're seeing in front of you. Maybe that's what you like to do. But for me, it's really more of a take the day off, go somewhere, do something, or come in, watch the charts, and see why you should or should not trade. Maybe use it as information for the next time there's a holiday shortened day, or based on information that you gather. So until Monday, I'm going to be here Monday. I have no positions on. I just want to make sure everything's flat before any orders, no orders, filled, canceled. Positions, trades, we're good. Everything's flat. Until Monday, I hope you guys had a great week. We'll have another great week next week. I will see you all 8:30 a.m. Monday. Remember, holiday shortened day, 12 o'clock for futures. I think the stock market's completely closed. So enjoy your weekend. Have a good day. Don't let a bad week affect your weekend. Don't let a good week make you upset that you have to go for a weekend. Enjoy yourself while you're off. So I'll see you all Monday, 8:30 a.m. Central. Don't forget, if you sign up for TradeCaster today through Sunday, there's a plethora of free stuff. Go over to Policing Pips Instagram. Go to Deckmar's Instagram. You'll see everything that you get. Even if you go to TradeCaster, that first little pop-up that comes up gives you everything that you need to know that for the giveaway. So until next week, I'll